Clutter can be ugly, stressful, and even a tad embarrassing. So in case you're avoiding having guests over because you're embarrassed about the state of your home, in this video I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about clutter and 5 useful products that will help you to banish it from your home for good. The typical number one offender when it comes to clutter is small items, so think things like mail, pens, packets, packages, and other small knickknacks around the house. These small items often get left around the house because they don't have a dedicated home, so the best thing that you can do is to consolidate and organise them by giving them a permanent place in the house, and the perfect product for making this happen is the humble but mighty container. Containers come in all shapes and sizes and with different materials and price tags, but when it really comes down to it, all you want is something that can hide clutter by camouflaging or concealing its messy and incoherent contents, while at the same time making these items quickly accessible. IKEA have a whole section dedicated to small storage and organisers on their website, and the choice can be pretty overwhelming. But even though buying containers can get quite expensive quite quickly, the cheapest of solutions can make a huge difference as long as they're relatively plain and discreet, and you make sure that you buy the right size container for the job. Purchasing containers and organisers often just becomes an afterthought, as they seem like another item to just have lying around the house. But when they're used properly, they allow you to group similar items together, providing you with some peace of mind as it tends to make multiple items feel like one item. So immediately you know that certain items have a family that they belong to and a respective home to go to. And this also helps in making small items a whole lot easier to find, like the next time you're running around the house looking for some sellotape. Simply by swapping your seating for alternatives with storage can open up a ton of space in your home. Because we all need to sit and sleep, the spaces underneath these furniture items is often left unconsidered. So if a lack of storage space is contributing towards you having a cluttered home, considering how sofas, beds, and tables can provide additional functionality can help to free up space elsewhere, making your home feel a whole lot bigger. Because this type of storage is typically lower and harder to access when compared to cupboards, it's great for infrequently used items like seasonal decorations or tools or sports and hobby equipment. And in doing things like swapping out your coffee table for something like an ottoman with a lid, or by raising your bed frame so that you can fit more things underneath it, you may find that you don't need old or inefficient storage pieces anymore, freeing up valuable space in your home. This kind of storage furniture may not always look quite as nice as more trendy pieces with delicate legs, but an airy and organised home always feels much nicer than a cramped one that's completely engulfed in clutter. Of course, there are items that you do need to access on a more regular basis, in which case you don't really want an additional layer of friction bothering you every time you need to access them, which is actually a reason why clutter ends up getting left out in the first place. So much like containers, discreet but open top catch-alls and trays do a great job of camouflaging and consolidating items that you need on hand, acting a bit like how a rug defines and anchors furniture in a certain area of the home. With certain areas like my desk, I found that having a desk shelf like this one from Grovemade does an incredible job of functioning as a catch-all to store all of the things that accumulate on my desk, as I find that I can throw in things that I frequently need like my EDC, parcel knife, and camera trinkets, and it's also just a great spot for temporarily placing things that I'm currently using. I actually pair this with basic catch-all trays for these items too, as they make things even more organised, but these can be handy for loose items in pretty much any room, and by applying this kind of principle at our family home's entryway, we found a little IKEA mirror with a little tray at the bottom that does a great job of providing a home for our shared keys, so we always know where they are and where to find them. Bellroy, who are the kind sponsors of this video, essentially bring this approach of organising clutter to everyday carry, with products like their key case and tool that provides utility while stopping your keys from jingling and scratching up items in your purse or pockets, and with organisers like their handy tech kit, which consolidates messy wires, chargers and power banks that wreak havoc inside our bags. But above all, their wallets are unlike any others I've ever used in how they bring so much functionality and accessibility into such small packages, with wallets of almost every shape and size, whether you carry coins, cash, or just your cards. As Bellroy are a certified B Corp, you can be assured that they're also environmentally and socially responsible too, through investing in the use of recycled materials in a lot of their products and in eco and dry tanned leather that is drastically better for the environment. In the past, I've also found that they make for great gifts too, so be sure to check them out using my link down in the description below and you can get 10% off their entire range. In our homes, there are also unfortunately ugly necessities that we need but don't particularly like the look of, like wires, sockets, and the packaging of toiletries and dry goods. Wires are a utility in our homes that provide us with a ton of visual clutter if they're not managed properly. So by disguising or concealing them out of sight in products like adhesive trunking or by consolidating them in cable sleeves and trays, it can make our digital spaces feel much cleaner. And despite these items being relatively cheap, they make a world of difference to how premium a space feels. The same thing goes for things like dry goods, cereals, soaps, or shampoos. We all need to use them frequently, but often the design and colour of the packaging is intended to be eye-catching on a supermarket shelf, which isn't really a vibe that you want to bring inside of your home. This cacophony of bright colours and dynamic shapes often introduces an incohesive aesthetic into homes that may actually have very cohesive and thought out designs. So by decanting these frequently used products into cleaner looking bottles or containers, it makes them far less intrusive. And as a bonus, if you opt for going down the refillable route, it's also a whole lot more sustainable too in reducing packaging waste. Finally, the most obvious way to hide clutter is to just introduce storage furniture into your home that has opaque doors on it, which means that if organisation isn't really your gig, you can be messy on the inside whilst having a clean and beautiful home on the outside. So things like cabinets and sideboards are a really great renter-friendly way to add to the amount of storage in your home. However, if you're a homeowner, I'd go one step further and say that getting built-in cabinetry like the Method cabinets from IKEA can be an absolute game changer, as it's often more affordable and it comes in more sizes and configurations than wardrobes or other large pieces of storage furniture. So just because it comes under the umbrella of kitchen furniture, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be placed inside the kitchen, and it's very likely that with this type of built-in furniture, you can put together a configuration that will fit in nearly any size of space. Of course, links to everything that I've mentioned in this video can be found down in the video description, and if you found the tips and products in this video helpful, it'd be great if you could help me out by dropping a like down below. And remember that if you have a small space or a small apartment that's particularly challenging, you can always submit it to be featured in my ongoing Architect Redesigns series. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.